You know what they never tell you? That the most dangerous man alive isn't the one screaming threats, isn't the one posturing in the town square, chest puffed out, fists clenched, looking for validation in the eyes of strangers who don't matter. No. The most dangerous man alive is the one who's already been to hell and decided he's got nothing left to lose. The one who's walked through fire so hot it didn't just burn him, it purified him, stripped away everything soft, everything weak, everything that made him hesitate. And when that man finally decides to move, when a good man goes to war, even the devil himself looks up from his throne and thinks, maybe I should sit this one out. You see, they've built this entire illusion around the concept of goodness, haven't they? Society tells you to be kind, be understanding, turn the other cheek, forgive 70 times 7. They teach you that being good means being passive, that being moral means being weak, that having a code means you're supposed to let people walk all over you, spit in your face, take what's yours, and you're supposed to smile and say, "Thank you, may I have another." They've convinced entire generations that being a good man means being a doormat with a hollow. But here's what they don't understand. What they've conveniently forgotten in their rush to domesticate the masculine, to neuter the warrior spirit, to turn wolves into dogs begging for scraps at the table. A good man isn't good because he's incapable of violence. A good man is good because he's more than capable of violence and chooses not to unleash it. A good man holds back the storm not because he can't summon it, people, but because he knows exactly what it would do. And that's the thing that keeps them up at night. That's the thing that makes the devil himself nervous. Because a good man who's been pushed too far, a good man who's finally had enough, that's not just dangerous, that's apocalyptic. Let me paint you a picture. Every single day, you wake up and you play by their rules. You smile when you're supposed to smile. You work their jobs. You pay their taxes. You follow their laws. You swallow your rage when Karen from accounting takes credit for your work. Civilized people. You bite your tongue when your efforts go unnoticed, when your sacrifices go unappreciated, when your loyalty gets repaid with betrayal. You do this because you have a code, bull. Because you believe in something bigger than yourself. Because you were raised to think that integrity matters, that honor means something, that if you just keep your head down and do the right thing, eventually the universe will balance the scales. But day after day, week after week, year after year, you watch them take advantage of your goodness. You watch the liars prosper. You watch the manipulators climb the ladder. You watch the sociopaths smile their way into positions of power while you, the one who actually gives a damn, get left behind. And they think you don't notice. They think you're too stupid to see the game. They mistake your patience for weakness, your restraint for inability, your silence for submission. And that's their first mistake. That's the crack in their armor. Because the entire time you've been watching, learning, cataloging, building a mental database of every slight, every betrayal, every knife in the back. Not because you're petty, But because you're strategic, you're not weak. You're waiting. Here's what they don't teach in school. There's a reason every ancient culture revered the warrior poet, the man who could write sonnets and wage war, the man who understood philosophy and knew how to break bones. Because the most dangerous adversary isn't the mindless brute. It's the intelligent man who's been forced to become brutal. It's the gentle soul who's been pushed until gentleness became a luxury he can no longer afford. See, when a bad man goes to war, it's expected. It's Tuesday. It's just another day in the life of someone who never had principles to begin with. But when a good man goes to war, when someone who spent years, maybe decades, holding back finally lets go, that's biblical. That's the kind of thing that gets written about for centuries. That's the kind of thing that makes the earth tremble and the sky crack open. Because a good man at war isn't fighting for pride. He's not fighting for ego. He's fighting for every principle he held sacred that got violated. Every boundary he set that got crossed. Every line in the sand that got trampled. And he's not coming to negotiate. He's not coming to debate. He's coming to correct, to balance, to remind the world that patience has limits and good men have breaking points. And woe to the fool who mistakes one for the other. The devil runs for cover not because he's scared of violence. Hell's built on violence. The devil's seen it all: torture, massacre, genocide. The devil's witnessed humanity's capacity for cruelty since Cain picked up that rock and turned his brother's skull into paste. No, the devil runs because he recognizes something in that good man's eyes. Something familiar. Something ancient. He sees the same cold calculation he uses, the same strategic thinking. The same ability to compartmentalize emotion and execute with precision. But there's one critical difference. The devil fights because it's his nature. A good man fights because you gave him no choice. And a man who's been forced to abandon his principles, forced to violate his own code, forced to become the monster in order to stop the monsters, that man fights with a clarity of purpose that even hell can't match. That man has righteousness on his side. And righteousness, true righteousness, not the performative kind they sell on social media, but the bone, deep conviction that you're correcting an injustice. That's the most powerful weapon that's ever existed. That's what makes God's bow and demons flee. You've been there, haven't you? Maybe you're there right now. That place where you've tried everything else. You've communicated, you've compromised. You've extended olive branches to people who use them to beat you with. You've turned the other cheek so many times, your neck's permanently twisted. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've given chances to people who never changed. You've invested years into relationships, friendships, partnerships that were one-sided from day one. And you did it because you believed, because you hoped, because you thought maybe, just maybe, these civilized people, if you were patient enough, kind enough, understanding enough, they'd finally see your worth. They'd finally reciprocate. They'd finally treat you the way you treated them. But they didn't, did they? They took your kindness for weakness. They saw your empathy as an opening. They exploited every vulnerable moment. They weaponized your goodness against you. And somewhere along the line, something inside you shifted. Not broke. Broke implies damage. No. This was transformation. This was evolution. This was the moment you realized that being good doesn't mean being available for abuse. That having principles doesn't mean letting people who have none walk all over you. That you can maintain your integrity and still destroy someone who crosses the line. And that realization, that's when you became the most dangerous version of yourself. They're terrified of you now, even if they don't show it. Especially the ones who knew you before. The ones who remember when you used to laugh easily, when you used to trust quickly, when you used to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. They see you now, and something in their primitive brain stem screams danger, because you're not angry. That's what scares them. If you were angry, they could handle that. Angry is loud. Angry is visible. Angry makes mistakes, but you're not angry. You're cold. You're calculated. You're the kind of calm that comes at the storm, has already made its decision. You speak quietly now. You move deliberately. You make eye contact that lasts just a second too long, and in that second, they see the abyss looking back. They see the wolf that's been wearing sheep's clothing, not because it had to, but because it chose to, until it didn't. And now the clothing's off, and they're standing face to face with something they can't manipulate. Guilt. Trip can't gaslight into submission. They're looking at accountability incarnate. They're looking at consequence personified people. They're looking at every action finally meeting its equal and opposite reaction. And the math isn't in their favor. This is what they never prepared for. Their whole strategy was built on your compliance. Their entire social structure depended on you continuing to play the role of the good guy who absorbs all the damage and keeps moving forward. They needed you to keep being the shock absorber for their dysfunction, the punching bag for their insecurities, the emotional landfill for their unprocessed trauma. They needed you to keep believing that taking the high road meant letting them push you off the cliff. But you're not taking the high road anymore. You're not taking any road they've built, people. You're cutting straight through the wilderness and everything that gets in your way. Everything that tries to stop you, everything that underestimated you, it gets left behind, broken, warned. These civilized people reminded that good men don't stay good when you give them every reason to become bad. They become something worse. They become justified. And that's the beautiful horror of it, isn't it? When a good man goes to war, he doesn't become the villain. He becomes the reckoning. He becomes the balance. He becomes the cosmic correction for every time someone mistook mercy for weakness, forgiveness for permission, patience for stupidity. He doesn't fight dirty because he doesn't need to. He spent years watching them fight dirty, learning their tactics, understanding their strategies. Now he's going to beat them at their own game while still maintaining the moral high ground. Because that's the thing about a good man at war. He's not trying to become them. He's trying to end them. Not destroy them physically, necessarily, though if it comes to that, he won't hesitate. But destroy their influence, their power, their ability to keep hurting people. A good man at war is surgical, precise. He doesn't cause collateral damage. He identifies the cancer and removes it. And the devil runs for cover because he knows what's coming. He knows that when someone fights with both skill and righteousness, when someone has nothing to lose and everything to prove, when someone's cause is just and their will is iron, there's no negotiating with that. Civilized people, there's no corrupting that. There's only getting out of the way and hoping you're not on the list. You feel it, don't you? That shift in your chest, that cold fire in your belly, that absolute certainty that you're done. Done explaining, done justifying, done defending your right to basic respect. Done playing a game where the rules only apply to you. They wanted a good man. They had one. They could have had your loyalty, your dedication, your unwavering support. They could have had someone who would have walked through fire for them, who would have built empires with them, who would have fought beside them against the world. But they chose to make you an enemy instead. They chose to take your goodness and test it, to see how far they could push before you broke. Well, congratulations, they found the limit. And now they get to meet the version of you that exists on the other side of that line. The version that's been forged in betrayal and tempered in isolation. The version that learned that sometimes the most moral thing you can do is remove immoral people from your life with extreme prejudice. The version that understands peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the presence of justice. And justice. Justice is about to make a house call. This is your moment, not of rage, not of revenge, of recognition. Recognition that you are not and have never been the problem, that your goodness was never weakness, that your patience was never submission, that your silence was never acceptance. It was preparation. Every moment they thought they were getting away with it, you were getting stronger. Every time they thought they'd won, you were learning. Every betrayal was a lesson. Every disappointment was fuel. People. Every moment of isolation was an opportunity to rebuild yourself into something they can't recognize, can't manipulate, can't control. You're not the man they thought you were. You're not even the man you thought you were. You're the man that circumstances demanded you become. And that man is inevitable. That man is inexorable. People. That man is the walking embodiment of fuck around and find out. And they've done all the fucking around. Now comes the finding out. So when they see you coming, when they realize what they've created, when they understand that the good man they took for granted has gone to war, let them run, let them hide. These civilized people, let them pray to whatever gods they think might save them. Because you're not coming as the villain, you're coming as the consequence they spent years earning. You're the bill, you're the reckoning. You're the reminder that good men aren't good because they're weak. They're good because they're strong enough to choose goodness. But take away that choice, force their hand, push them past the point of no return. then you don't get the good man anymore. You get the war. And when the good man brings war, even the devil knows better than to stick around for the finale. Because that good man, he's not coming to compete. He's coming to complete. To finish what they started. Blows to close the chapter they opened. To show them exactly what happens when you mistake patience for weakness, mercy for cowardice, and goodness for stupidity. He's coming to teach the lesson they refuse to learn. And class is in session, and there are no makeups, no extra credit, no do-overs. Just the cold, hard education of consequences. Bull. And they're about to become honor students in exactly what they created when they pushed the wrong good man into going to war. Welcome to the battlefield they built. You didn't want to be here. But now that you are, you're going to remind them why you stayed away so long. Not because you couldn't fight, but because you knew exactly what would happen when you did. Now they know too. Now everyone knows. The good man went to war, and even the devil took notes.